Oh, it's almost like we're in a cinema. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Dan Schinder here, and I want to introduce the man who needs no introduction, Steven Schinder.
Yeah, and we're here with John Anderson, a singer from the band Yes, and has been playing with the Band Geeks as well. They have a new album titled True. John, it's been so amazing, this album. What was the most surprising thing about the making of this album, in your opinion?
Well, the fact that we made it via Zoom, because they live in near New Jersey, and I live Central California, so we were able to Zoom every Tuesday, and put together ideas for songs and music and try things out. About 4 or 5 hours each Tuesday through November, December, January, and that's how it all worked. Like a miracle.
It came together amazingly. I mean,
yes.
I gotta tell you, John, and I mean this sincerely from my heart. I don't know if I've listened to an album this much since an album came out for years and years and years. It really is such great music, and I hope you're extremely proud of it because it's just magical. It really is.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all the work that went into doing it with Richie and the band, because I met the band last year. Somebody sent me a video of them performing Heart of the Sunrise. I know who it was, John Amick. He works at Sirius Radio.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw them play, I wanted to work with them because they sounded just like Yes,
That's awesome. And Stephen and I had the pleasure of seeing the show in Phoenix, got to get with you, hang out with the guys for a couple hours. It was so good. You're going to be, I don't know if you know this, but you're going to be 80 this month.
Oh,
how have you taken care of your voice? And how is it you still sound like you're in your 20s? It truly is remarkable.
It's a blessing. Believe me, I feel really, I just had COVID for the last 2 weeks. And I feel better now.
Good.
And
we're glad you're fine now.
I just feel like at this time in my life to be 80 and still excited about music and still excited about going on tour next spring. Because we hope to tour next spring doing the Yes Hour, and then we'll do the True Album Hour.
Wow. It's just great. Steve, go ahead.
Do you think that you and the Band Geeks will be taking this amazing tour to other places like the UK, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the next step, is to Europe and then Australia. I want to play at the Sydney Opera House if possible.
Oh,
and
I would come see you there.
Yeah. With a full orchestra, please.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. And we'd love to see the tour come back here in the US to see more of the songs from this wonderful album performed live. We got to see what we saw, the 3 songs, hear the song in intermission, but to see more of the album in person would just be amazing.
We actually rehearsed 2 days ago, last week when we were finishing the tour, we actually rehearsed Counties and Countries live. Nice. And it's like, oh man, this is so beautiful. Can't wait to tour again.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And John, I know that for you and your brother, the Everly Brothers were such huge influences. After decades with Yes, decades as a solo artist, decades collaborating with so many other wonderful artists, when you create and or perform, are the Everly Brothers still sort of in your head or on your shoulder? And or are there other contemporary artists since them that have influenced you that you think of?
Well, of course, the Beatles got us going in the 60s. And from then on, it was Zappa, then it was the Beach Boys, a lot of American bands. And it just happens that you start to enjoy other music. And at that time, I started listening to symphonic music by Sibelius, who's one of the most wonderful composers in all my life anyway. And without that, I wouldn't have done Close to the Edge. There's a Symphony number 7 by Sibelius, number 7. My hand's in the wrong place. And so I'd be on tour with Yes doing Fragile album, and I had a boom box in my suitcase. So I had these cassettes and I put on Sibelius a lot. I don't know why. And then I realized I was listening to the same piece of music, Seventh Symphony, and usually in symphonic music it's in three sections, you see. And but this music was 26 minutes long. It's like, and I've been listening to it for about 2 months.
Who in their right mind would record something in the 20 minutes? Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
those
because
are usually the best ones.
in those days, it's like it's got to be 3 minutes 33 seconds. Don't forget.
Right.
So I just said, screw that. I just want to do music that sort of lasts forever, if you like. And of course,
Yeah.
it does now. Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there any, being that you recorded, you worked on this a lot through Zoom, what did you have a learning curve, or were you already really familiar with some of the technological things that had to be involved recording that way as opposed to in the same room with the guys?
No, I think the Zooming was when we were practicing, and the recording that was done, it was done in, I keep saying New Jersey, but it's not, they live near New Jersey,
Oh, yes.
in Rich's studio, beautiful
Right.
studio. And basically, I just had a great sense of being in the 70s with the Yes Band, with these band geeks, because
Yeah.
their energy was the same. It was like, could we try this idea? Could we, one song called Be a Friend of Mine. I said, why don't we just start it more Irish, please? Have you got one of those drums?
Yeah.
That's, so they
The
said,
bodron.
like this. Yeah, I said, just like that. Thank you. That
Perfect.
kind of thing we do to and fro. So there was no, as I said, Richie is a master producer there, but it just needed me to just come up with ideas for this song, or a song Richie sent. And then I said, well, could we add a middle section to it? And then could we do this? And, it's like friendly. It's like being friends with the musicians,
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing that came out of this whole arrangement is what Stephen and I have been referring to as the John Anderson and the Band Geeks choir. The vocal capabilities amongst everybody is
Yeah.
just astounding as well. That must have been very pleasing to you.
Perfect. It was like every time they'd send a new mix, I'd said, where do you get the choir from? And they said, don't worry, we do it every night. We just love singing, and it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, this album is so recent, and even though we're still, taking it in, it's just so good that we gotta ask, do you think that you and the Band Geeks might do another one down the road, or are you sort of just seeing what happens, and
Hold
whatever
on.
happens?
I wrote that 10 years ago, and it's on my cassette machine. Bring on the day, never before out the and so on.
Is that
Wow.
the title? Or
That'll be the first song.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. How exciting. I was going to ask if there's anything that didn't make it on the album, but I think you just answered that.
Yeah, I've got a cassette full of song ideas, and I'll send some to Richie, and he will send a few back when he comes off holiday. Probably we'll start thinking about recording something new anyway for fun of it, probably next month. But we just got to wait till next year, I think.
Yeah, great. John, in the history of your solo work, collaborations, and yes, you've had experiences with the way people express whether or not they like your music. And I'm referring mainly to music critics. What advice do you have for younger creators or at any age who get faced with that and maybe now is turning them into being shy about revealing what they have because someone already criticized them, said, you can't do that. That sucks. That's horrible. What do you do? What advice do you have from your experiences? I'm sure with almost every album you've ever done, there's always someone that not only doesn't like something, but they're outspoken about it.
Yeah, because in one ear, out the other.
Good.
Right.
And tell everyone how simple that needs to be. You know,
Well, in some ways, you know when you're doing something creative that's kind of funky or whatever, just stick with it. And then I have this theory that you could spend, a week putting down some ideas, and then don't listen to them again for another couple of weeks, and then find the tape, and then find in the computer what you did 2 weeks ago, and go, oh, that's pretty cool, or that's not good.
right, right.
Don't analyze. And when I worked with the Academy of Rock, which is all these young
Yeah,
teenagers,
Paul Green. Yep.
yeah, Paul Green's thing, and we went to Europe. So I spent a lot of time talking to them about music and saying, practice, practice, and practice.
In that order.
That's all you got to do. And,
That's great.
it's as though I have this great belief that everybody's surrounded by so many different energies, and a lot of musical energies, a lot of thoughtful prayer energies. And all you have to do is to tap into them, or just wait for them to tap into you. And then you'll find that you're actually creating something you would never have believed. It's like being an artist. You go to a piece of paper like I did and went, okay, I'm going to mess around. So I've got this piece of art here because I was so bored one afternoon. I thought, stop, I could do a bit of painting, and I've got paint. I've got paint everywhere, and in the next room, there's all these paintings that I never finished because it wasn't the right time. It's just like all the cassettes I've got. I've got cassettes everywhere. Look.
There's some kids watching going, what the heck is a cassette?
Oh, yeah, it's true. But generally, never let go of anything that you create, because it will come back and find you in a better mood or a better energy to listen to it, because music is a very, for want of a better word, is very cosmic.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I jotted down a couple verses like yesterday or something, and I'm like, I don't know what else to do with this, but I'll tuck it away and it'll get finished at a later point.
Absolutely. It'll never leave you. When you're as old as me, it'll still hang around you saying, come on, John, I want this song. Bring on the day. Never before have I seen so much light. Bring on the day. Sounds like a bloody musical.
Yeah. And on that note, are there any future archival releases in the works, or even some new projects that you're allowed to talk about outside of True? Like anything you can talk about?
40 years ago, I met Marc Chagall, the most beautiful guy in the world. I met on his 90th birthday. And Marc Chagall's art is kind of like this.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And this guy, I didn't really know I knew he was a painter. And Bill Wyman was living about half a mile away. And he was the guy that called me up and said, John, come out, we're going to a birthday party. I said, okay, Bill. So we went to this beautiful restaurant in the south of France there. And this little guy, I met him, and I shook his hand and I said, give me a hug, man, because he was a nice guy. And he was very sweet. And I didn't really know so much about him. But within a month, I knew everything about him. And then I started writing songs about him. Oh. So made a musical that was finished maybe 30 years ago. And now all of a sudden, I bumped into a couple of friends up in the wine country here. And they just happened to be very interested in musicals. And I said, I just happen to have a couple, Wow. So he's working on it at the moment, and it could be working on theater presentation next summer, something like that. And even found this wonderful, wonderful guy who loves the idea of Chagall. The Color of Love is the project. His name's Kelsey Grammer, and he's such a character and a great singer, beautiful singer.
Really?
So he's helping along the way. You bump into people, you never know who you're going to meet.
Right. Did you ever imagine 40 years ago when you met Chagall, who was almost, just 10 years older than you are now. Did you ever
Yeah,
imagine this is what you'd be doing at this age, or is it part of your vision?
you never know. You never. I was surprised because I'd written the musical idea. I'd sketched out the story and everything. What because he actually spent his early years in St. Petersburg, Mark Chagall, and he was painting, learning to paint next to Nijinsky, who was learning to paint. So they go out and drink a lot of that green stuff, absinthe.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've written a song about absinthe makes the heart grow stronger, cool it.
Yeah, nice. I have one last question because we want to be respectful of your time. Outside of music, outside of your creative universe, we know you paint, outside of writing songs and everything. What do you like to do? How do you like to spend your time with Janie outside of music and art?
Well, we're 49er fans, so don't say anything.
Oh, I love it.
It's a
I
tough
love it.
time. It's a tough time in the moment. Yeah,
Great.
I love cooking, and I always cook dinners and stuff, and then we'll go out for dinner and by the ocean side down here.
Yeah.
And life around here is very surreal and beautiful, and we live about a couple of miles away from the village, and
Hmm.
that's enough. We want to be up in the hills away from things, and we get deer coming into our garden every now and again,
Oh
eating all
wow.
our flowers, and
Right.
and the rabbits are just running around these days. So we're very blessed, and we're very grateful for the life we live, because you never know what we're going to be doing next. We're talking about touring again next spring. We just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, that's beautiful. My wife and I had a screw it moment about 8 years ago when we moved into the mountains east of Phoenix. We live about 100 miles from Phoenix up in the mountains.
Whoa,
Small
yeah,
community, and it's just a whole different vibe, right, than living
yeah,
in the city. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Came
very,
here from Vegas, big difference.
yeah, very, very Native American energy, like
Oh,
crazy.
yeah. There's an Apache reservation 20 minutes from us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we're all indigenous people. We keep forgetting.
Yeah.
We're all indigenous people from way, way back there, over there, because we used to, believe in the sun and the sun gods and the moon gods and all the great things that Native Americans still do. They teach us this thing all the time, this radiance of life. And
Yeah.
that's why I sing. I feel lost in the city, in the heart of the sunrise.
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
lost in the city.
Yeah.
So God
Beautiful.
bless you
John,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. We'd love to have you on again sometime. And there's the album, folks, True
Yeah,
by John Anderson and the Band Geeks. Before we go, John, tell everyone how they can become a member of your Patreon.
gosh, you got me there. I don't know.
Oh,
Uh,
Steve probably knows. Steve will put it in the notes for
Uh,
everybody.
yeah, it's
so Steve,
patreon.com/ and I know
John
the
Anderson.
yeah, I think it's John Anderson, yeah.
I hope so. I'm
Um
actually, yeah,
yeah, it is, yeah.
I've been touring, so we haven't been doing any. We get together and do some Zooming together and talk about this and that and the other, about what we're doing now. So people who want to do this on a regular basis, just get in touch with Patreon John Anderson, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great. John, thanks so much. We will send this to you so that you could see all the beautiful comments people have been leaving. Because I know we don't have time to read them all. There's so many I can't even count them, and we'd love for you to see those. This is live on 4 different channels on Facebook and YouTube, both
Oh, good.
Yesshift and Drum Talk TV's YouTube and Facebook respectively. So Steve will send all the links. You'll see all the wonderful comments, and we'd love to have you on again sometime.
Excellent, you guys. Take care, Dan. Take care, Stephen.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks so
John. Take care.
much.
Thanks for all the amazing music over the years.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye everyone.